tickle?
That was a nerve bundle in your deltoid. Might not have hurt, but you won't be moving that arm for a while.
Is that true? Like, can you really do that as a fighting move?
You don't get it, son. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
I mean, what a line. Welcome back, super friends and super family. I am Thor, your friendly neighborhood god of thunder. Today, I'm reacting to The Dark Knight Returns. But before we get into the reaction, I need your guys' help. So, depending on how The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2 do on the channel, if both of those do well, I feel like there's an audience for more Batman content, I will be starting the animated series. I don't think I'm going to be doing all the episodes of the reaction series. My basic plan is to do reactions to the most important episodes of the show. I think there's about 50 total, but I actually kind of want to watch all of them myself. So I was kind of thinking that I would do all the episodes on Patreon, but because the editing is so time consuming, what I'll do for YouTube is I'll edit, the key episodes so that everyone could still enjoy those ones. But like I said, that really just depends on the reception of The Dark Knight Returns. So if you do enjoy these Batman reactions, I've been having a blast. I was so impressed with Under the Red Hood and Mask of the Phantasm. Those are two ones I just reacted to. So impressed with that. So it's kind of opened the world to these DC animations that I wasn't too familiar with. I just posted a poll on my YouTube channel for whether I should start with the DCAU or Batman the Animated Series, and several people were kind enough to explain that those are kind of the same thing. That's how little I know. But what I meant on that poll, what I should have put was Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, because that's what I meant. I looked up really quickly, but I don't want to look up too many articles because I don't want anything spoiled, but it looks like there's 15 main DCAU films, I believe, so that's what I really meant. But anyways, messed up on the poll, but it seemed like most people wanted Batman the Animated Series out of those two, but I do have kind of a mixed audience here on my channel. There are some people who are Batman fans, obviously, but there's some people who just aren't interested in that content. So if you're watching this video, you do want to see me react to Batman the Animated Series, I do appreciate if you subscribe, like, just any type of engagement will help me determine if that audience is there. Now, before we get into this movie, I have seen The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns. I may or may not have been with mixed company, and there was some drinking that night, so I wasn't really too focused on the movie. But just in case you're only interested in like first time watching, someone who has no idea about the movie, I do know some things going in, especially about Part 1. Part 2, I don't really know anything. I know that he fights Superman at the end, and I think there's a big twist of like Superman is working for the president. Man, maybe more of it will come back to me, honestly, when I start watching it. Sometimes that happens. You watch a movie, you're distracted, then as you're watching it, you remember more. So I can't guarantee like how many things are going to be a complete surprise for me, but I remember liking especially the first part, so I'm very excited to kind of revisit this, give my thoughts, analysis, and discussion, and react to this movie. So I hope everyone enjoys this video. If you do want to watch the full unedited reactions to this, all my movies are all up on Patreon, and like I said, I'm filming The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2, so Part 2 is going to be out right now if you're watching this on YouTube on Patreon, but that's enough talking from me. Let's just get into what we're all here for, The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. I'm not sure if The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns are connected to other DC animated movies either, like if they're in the same universe. Bruce Wayne doing this reminds me a little bit of Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. Now, in the comics, was this something that Bruce Wayne did? I believe this is based off a Frank Miller comic, but I don't know like how faithful these movies are adapted from that storyline.
That's it. I'm engaging computer override.
You know you're overdoing it when the computer takes over.
Are you trying to kill yourself?
Like, is he actually trying to, or is it more subconscious?
Spectacular finish to the Newman elimination. Out Wayne bailed out at the last second, suffering only minor burns.
I'm assuming like he wasn't actually trying to let himself die, because that's such a selfish way to do it when you might crash and like hurt someone else.
Threats have once again been leveled by the mutants against soon to retire 70-year-old Commissioner James Gordon.
I've got one more month at this job, and I'd love to spend it nailing the mutants. If they want to take me on, I'm delighted. Come and get me.
What a bold statement. I feel like, right before you retire, you're almost out for good to say that.
Most of our younger viewers now think of him as a myth.
Has he really been gone that long that people would think he's a myth?
To 10 years, and my finally joining you.
He does not seem too happy. And he's not even, you don't even toast Gordon? Come on, I know you're in a bad mood, but that's just rude, Bruce.
You with that ginger ale of yours pretending it was champagne? Made up for lost time on that sense.
That's not a good sign.
Talked to Dick lately?
You know I haven't.
Shame you didn't keep up with him. Could have been a shoulder to lean on. After what happened with Jason.
So I believe Dick Grayson, I think his name is like the replacement Joker, but I don't know exactly how that storyline plays out. And if it's revealed like in other animations, like don't tell me because I'll find out in those shows.
The day of judgment is coming, brother.
I love the design of the old Bruce Wayne, but you can just see the weariness and maybe some bitterness on his face. What a visual. What an animation visual. Ooh, that's a reminder. With the flashing lights on his eye. Man, some of the shots are just gorgeous.
Slice and dice. Show him we're nasty. Spud's awful big, and look at him.
Why does he call him Spud?
Come on.
Jeez, man. Spud's into it.
If you approach an old guy and try to mug him and he says that, you know he's gonna kick your ass. He's got some Clint Eastwood energy, let's just put it that way.
Blow this. Let's go to the arcade.
Smart call. Good call. Draped in moonlight while you sleep. It looks so similar to like the visual from Batman Begins. Oh, it's Robin's. I thought it was going to be his suit.
This somnambulism is becoming a problem, especially for those of us with a penchant for sleeping at night.
Poor Alfred. Poor Alfred. Can't even get sleep when Batman's retired.
Just remembering a promise, Alfred.
Which was?
Never again.
When did you shave?
Like a whole new man without that mustache.
Don't be nervous, Harvey. Dr. Willing and I have done outstanding work on you.
With his eyes like open like that.
Both sides match. You look completely normal.
I don't know what to say.
Enough gratitude to my plastic surgeon, Dr. Herbert Willing, and my psychiatrist, Dr. Bartholomew Walper.
I love how the psychiatrist is wearing like a Superman shirt with little "Get Real." A nice little touch.
We have to give Harvey every chance to return to society. We must believe we can all defeat our own private demons.
Dang. I'm surprised that was his take, honestly. Seeing that he seems a little bit cynical,
All-time high.
Kidnapping and murdering young children, a line even the mutants hadn't crossed until now. Despite
I mean, this is why I don't watch TV. Every channel is like this. This is why I don't watch it.
Of Tyrone power in the mark of Zorro.
Always something there to remind you, except not with that upbeat tune.
Criminal ways.
4 killed in a senseless attack.
The assault and mutilation.
It's like all the crime, the horror, the violence, all starting with the death of his parents is just accumulating into massive trauma. Staring at the TV and drinking certainly doesn't help either.
You try to hold me back, but you're weak.
Jeez, that's a huge statue that just broke, man.
Know it in your soul.
Oh, I like that animation in black and white except for the blood.
Shell.
What a visual, man. I'm just gonna be like nerding out about the animations and some of the shots just so everyone knows. I hope that's not too annoying. It's like he can't escape. He can't escape it, which is so... It's so tragic.
The time has come.
That sequence is one of the best sequences I can think of, both live action and animated movies, of like giving a character's frame of mind and hinting at his backstory. I just love the way it's executed.
No, please!
Run! That is a violent lightning strike right there.
Please, not the face.
Someone who says that, you know they've been hit before.
You're messing with my livelihood. Hey man, take it somewhere else. I just had the seats cleaned.
That's your concern, bro? The seats?
Dog-eat-dog world, I guess.
How much is that? How much money for you to turn a blind eye?
Thinks they're gonna mess with me?
Ripping through the roof. Like, how strong do you have to be?
Better in here than out there. At least the lights are bright.
You were saying?
Slice and dice 'em.
I got my knife. Anything moves, I'll...
Into the pure blackness.
Where'd you go?
Dude, you are a horrible shot. Shh, and he disappears just like that. Okay, you know you need backup when they have weapons like that, dude. If you're a cop in Gotham, you are either totally corrupt or insanely brave.
You gonna tell me or holy?
What a shot with the lightning like lighting up right behind him as he leaps.
You're slowing down?
Yeah, we're in for a show, kid.
I mean, you see where Nolan got some inspiration from Dark Knight Rises with like that older cop, that younger cop. Did you guys all have seatbelts on?
I never thought he was real. Look!
You got a lot to learn, kid.
These men are mine.
You heard the man.
You crazy?
I love how the veteran cop knows better. We just see him just a little bit in the background. A little bit tougher as you get older. Probably out of practice. I don't know. I don't remember. Is his suit bulletproof in this version of Batman? The soundtrack in the background is so perfectly sets the tone.
Watch it, you're gonna hit! Mackie? Yeah, I think I did.
You have no idea. You shot blindly, bro. You don't care about your friend. Catching little glimpses.
Everybody freeze!
Batman must be so annoyed when like other people interfere who don't know what they're doing. Oops. I love how he's so scared. Like when he actually is face to face with him, he doesn't even shoot. Like he's that terrified. That's the power of fear as well as stealth.
You're under arrest, mister! You just crippled that man!
He's young. He'll walk again. You'll stay scared, won't you, punk?
What a brutal, brutal strategy.
Nice to have you back, Bats. Go to their car, kid. Get the loot.
The pain! I can't stand it!
Was that pain pills that he just poured?
No, I saw you once before. I was a rookie like Schmuckface there, and...
Tell Gordon we have to talk.
He's like, I don't want to reminisce about the one time you met me. We're here to work, man.
Was he supposed to get in touch with you?
He'll know.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Injured members of the Mutant gang. The children describe the gang's attacker as a man dressed as Dracula.
That's a pretty good description for Batman.
Don't call us a gang. Don't call us criminals. We are the law.
You tried to rebrand?
Tougher brutality is an understatement. Batman shattered his femur.
So sue Batman, not the police.
A second. My client also has to be insured of protection.
You heard me, Merkel. Gum?
That's harsh, but I can see where Gordon's coming from.
If it's suicide you're after, I have an old family recipe. It's slow and painful. You'd like it.
I love that this version of Alfred also has that sense of humor, man.
You're releasing him right now. Interesting.
I mean, you may be older and not as, sharp as you once were, Batman, but you are huge, dude. I would love to be in that great of a shape when I'm older. The way they have, like, Batman enter a scene in these movies is so, so good.
Two-Face has already moved on.
Stay away from me! I got rights!
Not with Batman, you don't. Not this old, angry Batman.
Bleeding to death. And right now, I'm the only one in the world who can get you to a hospital in time. So how quickly you decide to talk is up to you.
So calm in delivering those terms.
Isn't there any other way to contact him?
At least a dozen.
Then why?
So everyone knows.
Exactly. You're making an announcement. Now, is Gordon happy to see Bruce come out of retirement, I wonder? Or is he concerned for his well-being? I don't know. I bet you could tell a lot about a person by their reaction to seeing the bat symbol come on if it's been off for a while, right?
I wouldn't rule out that he's hurting himself. Must have been impossible to resist the compulsion.
We still talking about Dent?
Perceptive there.
Absolutely convinced of Harvey Dent's innocence, but that's not to say he hasn't returned to...
Is this the actor from Better Call Saul?
And so, let me explain. You see...
I think it is. I should know that guy's name. That's Chuck from Better Call Saul.
...his own enemies, committing the crimes using his so-called villains as narcissistic proxies.
Narcissistic proxies? Okay, man.
The real villain here is Batman.
I love how he responds, like he only has movement when he hears the word Batman. Yeah, gotta stretch a little bit these days, huh? It's a good idea, no matter what age, honestly. Bring in some heavy firepower. Like, I always wonder, like, with Gotham City being such a horrible place, why doesn't anyone just move? I mean, is it just so much poverty?
Life building.
Oops.
This is Harvey Dent. Sorry to interrupt your television viewing pleasure.
Who voices Harvey Dent? I like his voice.
22 minutes to save them. And my price is $22 million.
How fitting. How fitting, Harvey. I love that point of view with the gun as he just sees his men getting taken out. Good, there go all your coworkers, buddy. Okay, this is some of the coolest way to show fighting in the smoke for an animation, man. Wait, is it like tear? Is it like the gas from Batman Begins, kind of?
Your favorite nightmare should last about an hour. How do I stop it?
Stop it? It shouldn't be going!
Oh, your boss didn't tell you all about the plan. Nice quick temporary fix. The strength to pound that in even just a little bit with your hand. Okay, how does Batman have this good of a balance, man? Oh, shoot. Nice in-air recovery. Oh, shoot, except it grabbed a guy. Is that enough to slow down his momentum? Okay, that's got to be one of the most epic ways to, like, for a hero to recover when falling like that. Jeez, that'll light up the night sky.
Show me. What did you do?
No! I played along as I could.
You think?
Cut it out. Just look at me and have your laugh.
That's so crazy.
At least both sides match now, right? Look at me.
Like, what a commentary on his self-perception.
Nothing can change what I am.
You and me both.
I wonder if that's based off like an actual psychological sickness. I'm not too informed about that.
The only thing Batman signifies is an aberrant psychotic force.
Well, he's hardly as dangerous as the criminals he fights, is he?
It's a show literally called Point versus Point. I love the satire of like the media and commentary culture. I feel like it is so relevant. Rings very true.
Gotta watch the red meat, you know.
Everyone's a doctor.
I've been in that situation. I can relate to that. Don't underestimate Commissioner Gordon.
The mayor spoke to reporters this afternoon.
We're still in consultation on this. Still in consultation.
That sounds about right.
We have to strive to reintegrate the disenfranchised into society, not revel in their punishment. Excuse me? No, I'd never live in the city.
There you go.
Commissioner James Gordon has been shot and killed. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Commissioner Gordon has shot and killed a...
How? Okay, fire her. How do you read the headline that wrong? I mean, I know it's just a troll for the audience for us to think Gordon is dead, but come on, lady. I hope you practice enough before you're climbing around as high. No, you didn't.
Some Robin.
You could have died right there.
The mayor has yet to announce his replacement.
I'm still polling opinions. Still polling opinions.
Sounds about right.
You ever want to hear him again? Do like we said.
Oh man, the kid messed himself.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to empathize or pity people who would do this to a 2-year-old. Hopefully it wasn't the pizza you guys ordered or something.
Get out of the way.
You just shot his buddy?
Should have got out of the way, Spot.
That's not good strategy or being nice. How strong do you have to be to do that?
Believe me, man, I'll do it.
It's not Batman's first rodeo.
I believe you.
That's a nice technique. I know it's not a literal camera, but it's like they shake the camera a little bit, like the frame, to convey like the movement and the urgency.
Didn't suck.
No, those are some good moves. Those are some good moves.
Where am I? I can't see.
I'm your worst nightmare. It makes you wake up screaming for your mother.
Can you? I'd be so terrified if Batman was saying this to me.
You're in no position to negotiate. Let me show you.
I would take your word for it. I wouldn't need a demonstration. Oh my gosh.
We make it to the next block.
Will you chill out? They can smell the fear on you, you know.
Or the common sense.
Look out!
What the hell? I'm trying to make an honest living here. Stay out of my business.
An honest living? No thank you? Nothing?
You're welcome.
I was gonna say, that's pretty rude. Just for the amusement factor, I would thank a vigilante if they jumped out from the shadows and scared someone away.
My men, my country, that's all I cared about.
He makes it look easy.
Nice way to end your career, General.
That looks like the woman from earlier. Jeez. And Batman left that gun there. Did he do that deliberately so the guy had the opportunity to kill himself?
Master Bruce?
Well,
look at the big smile on his face. I mean, how could you not be excited riding around in this?
Call us a gang. They think we just noisy kids.
That is a ton of members.
Take the guns, take the bombs, storm police headquarters, and kill and kill.
He's definitely got some roid rage going on, right?
Surrender now or be destroyed.
You think it's gonna penetrate that tank? No way, dude.
Don't even wait for an order. Kids today, no respect.
No respect, no discipline either. They seem very unorganized. I mean, he's taking out so many. I mean, I'm not surprised this Batman doesn't hesitate to kill, but it's always just a little bit of a shock seeing it happen. Jeez. Like, do none of the mutants, like, just decide to give up and run away? Oops. What is the body count just for this day?
Rubber bullets.
Oh, rubber bullets. Okay. Still, people died for sure.
I call you coward! Come out here and face me like a man!
It'd be hilarious if he just, like, it blew him up right there as he's talking. Signature Batman jump. This guy could have had a career in the MMA if he wasn't, you know, leading a gang. Jeez, what a brutal fight. Gosh. I mean, thank goodness she was there. Like, that would have been the death of Batman. What is that stuff? And I'm assuming Batman didn't use that earlier because he really wanted to just test the physical combat, like he was saying, right? But I really think, actually, subconsciously, it's kind of maybe a death wish.
Good girl, thank you. Now run along home.
I mean, good thing that guy got out of the way. He would have been flattened.
Dick called it the Batmobile.
Sir!
It's interesting he's like, they call it, not he calls it. At least she knows what she's doing.
No, Alfred, no hospital. The cave.
But sir!
And Robin comes with us.
It seems like so fast for him to be revealing his identity to her, but part of me actually thinks like Batman is older. Like he evaluated her character, he saw her in the field, and he just made an assessment about who she was very quickly. But I'd love to know what people have different interpretations for that. I would not touch anything, honestly, if I was on tour in the Batcave.
Hands to yourself, please.
Yeah, like it's a little bit presumptuous. Dang, he looks a lot like his father.
You're never finished with me.
He looks almost happy about it. I love, I mean, that another scene that I just love, like giving us his reference, his frame of mind in that moment.
And from Gotham City, popular psychologist and author of the bestseller, Hey, I'm Okay.
Oh, okay, that's why he wore that pin.
In this context, Batman could be considered a social disease.
That's the biggest load of bull I've ever heard.
This feels like such those TV debates, right? It's like Fox and CNN. Not that I watch that. I mean, maybe they don't do that anymore, but...
Batman is a coward. I broke his bone. We will come for our leader. We will kill Gordon. We will raise Gotham and taste its blood.
I actually agree. They're not a gang. They're a cult.
Result of Commissioner Gordon's incompetence and the Batman's terrorist action.
Bro, you should not be talking trash about Commissioner Gordon.
I intend to personally sit down with the mutant leader to negotiate a settlement.
Good luck, bro. Good luck.
Has the mayor gone nuts?
Yes.
Shh. Want to go through with this?
Doesn't look like a man who's very firm in his convictions. Gordon shuts the door. Did he kill him? Holy.
If there are any members of the mutant organization listening.
Oh, organization.
Tried to match his savagery last time. That was my mistake. I have to be smarter.
I love that Batman like can take notes from his combat to like adapt and get better. He's not just some brute who, you know, works out a lot.
I'll never forget what happened to Jason. He was a good soldier. He honored me. But the war goes on. It'll take weeks to prepare you properly, but I have a job for you tonight.
I really like the choice to have Batman's eyes, like under the cowl, be white too.
I knew about the pipe.
Sure you did.
Shut up and come on.
Well done.
The only thing I don't understand is how far apart we are on Batman.
Then let's not talk about Batman.
Very smart, Gordon.
Sure you've heard old fossils like me talk about Pearl Harbor. Mostly we all lie. It sounded like we leapt to our feet and went after the Axis the second it happened. Truth is, we were scared stiff.
No shame in that. You can still be a hero.
And then we heard President Roosevelt on the radio. That voice, strong and sure.
About the pipe. Leader says everyone. We heard, we're on our way.
I mean, that's a clever plan. It also shows like how the mutants really are these young, dumb kind of criminals. You know, they're not the smartest group, and they're not well led, in my opinion.
A lot of men died. But in the end, it saved millions. It was too big for me to judge.
I still don't see what that has to do with Batman.
Come on, you don't see the analogy he's painting here?
The only way to finish this is to defeat them. Humiliate them.
Come down to say hello, old man.
No, I came to say goodbye.
Oof, you set him up for that one. I love that. I love how like the classic villain move is to put themselves in prison because it's all part of the plan, but to have it be like one of those classic hero moves to let the villain out of prison, it's a nice flipping of the scripts there. He's like, who started this party without me?
I will show you who rules Gotham City.
Okay, son. Show me.
You're slow.
True, but we're all slow when we're thigh-deep in mud.
Evens the playing field.
And you are not too bright.
No, he's not.
What was that?
Just the right kind of cut above the eyes, and it bleeds.
Hard to fight with blood in your eyes.
That a tickle?
That was a nerve bundle in your deltoid. Might not have hurt, but you won't be moving that arm for a while.
Is that true? Like, can you really do that as a fighting move?
You don't get it, son. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
I mean, what a line. Oh my gosh, that is so painful and vicious. And talk about a way to break the spell, you know, seeing their leader humiliated and defeated like that. And I think it really had to be a one-on-one physical combat. I think they wouldn't have felt the same if he had used like his weapons or technology to defeat him.
We are the sons of Batman, and Gotham's criminals are about to enter.
It's like so quickly they just flip.
How are you feeling, sir?
The guy was mugging a lady in front of my shop.
Like it was yesterday.
Batman? I'm tired of hearing about him. And you want to blame Batman? I say more power to them.
Batman, darling.
The perfect ending for a part 1, man. Who voices the Joker? And I don't even know, is the Joker in part 2? Whatever, we'll see. All right, so that is The Dark Knight Returns. I mean, what a gripping, dark, harsh, brutal Batman story start to finish. I mean, I love this movie. Like I said, I'm like 99% positive this is based off a Frank Miller comic. Or graphic novel. I clearly know so little about comics and graphic novels, things like that. I don't know anything about this, as I'm sure anyone who does can tell. But it is interesting to me, and I wonder if it's a faithful adaptation. I kind of hope it is, because I've heard people praise that comic or graphic novel, whatever is the correct term, of Frank Miller's Batman work. But this movie, I think, it does something different with Batman. And I have heard some people say they don't like this interpretation of Batman because he is so brutal and kind of cynical, I guess. Like his view on the world and life, I think, is coming from a perspective of a real like weariness and fatigue with the patterns of human behavior. But personally, I'm not saying like this is the definitive Batman character, but I find it so fascinating to take a glimpse at this hero like after his retirement, and to see those scars of, you know, seeing the worst sides of humanity day in and day out of doing these things. And then one of my favorite things, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is faithful to Batman lore in general, but I like how he treated like those two scenes, you know, in the Batcave after he got injured, and then early on when he's in his mansion and just at night in the storm. Both visually, the way that is conveyed, you know, with the flying bat monster, and then how Bruce is talking to him and there's that voice, that dialogue back and forth. I just think it's not only a stylish sequence, but it's so effective and also very interesting from a psychological perspective, how Bruce himself almost, the way at least I interpret it, is that Bruce is like speaking to the bat, which is like to the Batman, like to even he like looks as Batman, as himself, as this kind of monstrous alter ego that he has to become in order to do these crazy feats and to fight and be in the streets and just, you know, live as this hero, but even, you know, do the things necessary to save people and just everything involved, you know, like we're normal people, you know. Well, I mean, I'm assuming maybe there's some secret vigilantes watching this channel, but I would assume most of us are normal people with normal jobs. You know, we go about it, we're not living day in and day out with violence, and we're probably not operating outside of the law and like doing things in our own way. Though, you know, Batman is an extreme. I don't think it's a bold statement to say that, you know, and to see Bruce himself kind of look at the Batman as this other side, and even having Two-Face in this episode, I think reflects that theme of like becoming something else and that like darker side of the subconscious. And I also think, and this is something I'll ask in the comments down below, but the way that I see in this part one is I really think that Bruce, especially at the opening of the movie, but even throughout, there is a part of him, and I don't think it's conscious, I think it's more subconscious, but that wants to die. And I think that's because it must be so impossible for him to find peace. I think it must be so frustrating after all the work and putting sweat and blood and just commitment, like his life's work, his risks, like everything that he's done, to see like the city slipping back into those same old habits, the same violence, the same thing. You know, myself, you know, you look at the news day to day, you can really get depressed about humanity and about the future and about how human beings keep doing the same stupid, violent, horrible things over and over. Is there a way for it to end? And I think it also just ties into, you know, when you retire, there is that struggle with finding a purpose, having something to do. And so I think that really just ties into Bruce's, you know, desire. Like he's lost and he can't let go. And I really like that line that he has speaking to the Batman side of him, where he's like, you can't leave me alone either. And I do think that too, because the way that I see at least this interpretation of Batman and Bruce Wayne is, you know, someone who has lived their whole life with that darker half. You know, he's not your average Joe. You can't be to also do the things that Batman has done. I also really like, I don't think Batman really operates too heavily as a detective, at least not as much as we've seen in some other things. But I like how he uses his mind in the combat. I think that fits in at least how I always view the Batman character, and I just think it's really cool. And I also like how they have, like, halfway through the movie, you know, he actually gets defeated, because it really hammers home the idea of he is struggling with with aging, with being older, not being as quick, not being as sharp. You know, it's something any of us can relate to, whether it's happening now or it's going to happen to us. Like every human, unless, you know, you tragically die earlier, but most of us are going to deal with the real struggles of getting older, and that's a reality that none of us can escape. So seeing a hero struggle with that and then actually get defeated by the villain halfway through the movie, you know, the leader of the mutant gang, it makes that payoff at the end so much more satisfying when he learns his lesson. And then he not only defeats the leader, but he's smart enough to know that the gang, you know, and I think they demonstrated throughout how young the gang was, and they really come across as misguided and not too bright, you know. So to understand that he really needed to prove in front of all of them that their leader could be defeated, and in a brutal, physical, like one-on-one combat type of way, I think was very, very smart. But the voice acting, I don't know the name of the actor. I'm pretty sure he's the same actor who is in Star Trek Into Darkness, and I think that's also the same actor who is in RoboCop. I haven't seen I haven't seen any of RoboCop, honestly, so that's another movie I need to react to eventually, but I love his voice as Batman. And then we just heard a little quick line there from the Joker at the end, but I don't know who voices this Joker. But I'm excited. I'm excited to watch part 2. Like I said, for part 2, I remember like the Superman is in it and they have a fight. And like I said, I think Superman's working for the president, but beyond that, don't really remember anything else. So really, really pumped to watch that one. And like I said at the beginning, you know, I loved, as many people can tell, like I've seen some Batman movies, but I'm not well versed, especially in the animated side of the DC universe. So there's probably going to be a flood of suggestions and things like that. And my main focus at this point is either the main DC animated movies, the 15, I think there's 15 of them, starting with the Flashpoint Paradox or the Batman animated series. So if these 2 Dark Knight Returns videos do well and people are interested, that is what I plan to do. And then if I do the Batman animated series, if anyone has like a list of the main or the most important episodes, I would love to know. I do kind of personally, like I said, I want to watch the whole thing, but I just don't think I'm going to have time to edit that many videos for that. You know, I think if there's like 50 of them, that's a lot, considering I have a lot on my plate already and a lot of shows my patrons are already watching. So what I'll probably do is put the main ones on YouTube for everyone, just so if you're a big fan, you can enjoy those, and then my patrons can watch the full series along with me, the full uncut version. But yeah, huge fan of this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, are you a fan of this take of Batman? Do you like this? Is he too harsh and cruel for you? I feel like there are many moments where I kind of had my own interpretations for what was going on in Bruce's head, or the psychology behind it, or how realistic it was. So I'd love to know if anyone could let me know and inform me. Please, if possible, avoid any spoilers about other DC animated movies, because I do want to watch those soon. Thank you to everyone for watching along. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, Dark Knight Returns Part 2 is coming for sure. That'll be out soon. It's out right now on Patreon for early access. And like I said, if these 2 Dark Knight videos, there's interest in these, then I will continue to do more content like it. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. And as always, remember, be active, be mindful, and be a hero.